So the aristocratic, hierarchical obsession of conservatives comes rearing its ugly head once again. A Fox News host now wants American children to replace undocumented immigrant labor in agriculture. These people are stupid. They're not just evil. They're stupid. They're dumb. And their inability, their unwillingness to admit that they don't know everything is evil in and of itself, because that arrogance begets mayhem, chaos, pain, and misery. They now want American children to work on farms as a summer job. Conservatives are delusional. Conservatives are disgusting, and this all stems from the fact that they always want someone else to look down on. Let's watch.
Allow children to do it as summer jobs. The idea that your government, that your precious government doesn't allow children to work summer jobs in blueberry fields is just mind-blowing to me.
Well, it's very difficult work, by the way, and it's fine. I'm totally down with everything that you're saying, but the point is,
I'm not a libertarian.
For Americans to want to do these jobs, if it costs more, I'm okay with subsidizing that labor.
Now, I can tell just by looking at this guy's mannerisms, he's not that guy. He's not that white dude that's out there working in the farms, working on the fields. These are fucking posh, upper class, white collar, soft ass, conservative white folks who romanticize these country blue collar. They romanticize these blue collar jobs that blue collar white folks do, that undocumented immigrants do, as good work. It's good work, it's honest work, but it ain't for a child. It's not for children. The pesticides they're exposed to can destroy their bodies before they even develop. The positions their bodies have to be in over extended periods of time can fuck up their physical development. The illnesses they can be exposed to, the machinery that can kill them. Children die all the time doing agricultural work. Apparently, every 3 days, a child dies as a result of agricultural accidents, working in fields, working with machinery, tractors, and the like. They die from this. Not to mention infection, not to mention neurological issues that come up from being exposed to pesticides. Children have no business working these jobs. But see, conservatives don't give a fuck about the fact that also, by the way, 40 to 50% of agricultural labor in this country comes from undocumented immigrants. So if you just kick them all out, you have a 50% labor shortage in American agriculture, which will do untold damage to the economy, untold damage to our exports, untold damage to our food access in this country. Conservatives don't care. They just want this ultra romanticized perception of, hard-working white folk out in the field doing honest labor. It's good work. Not to mention, there's plenty of them who just won't say, hey, put the black people in there to do that job. Have them do it instead. They're not saying it, but a whole bunch of them are thinking it. Now, Charlie Kirk with that big ass head seems to be doing some kind of mathematics up there. You can see in his face, he kind of realizes like, okay, this is going in quite an unsavory direction here. The lady kind of has a moment of like realization on her face of like, what the fuck did this guy just say? And this guy thinks it's great, honest labor. You know what? That man will never allow his kids to even touch a field. Do you want to know why? Because conservatives don't just hate minorities. They don't just hate people with different religions, different sexual orientations. They hate each other. They are in a rush to be at the top of the social hierarchy. They need someone to look down on. They need someone to be on a lower rung of the social totem pole than them. They need that. So how about other white families have their children in those fields doing that unsavory, back-breaking, horrible, difficult work? How about they do that? How about my kids go to a preppy, nice, soft private school, all white, extremely expensive, out the way? How about we live the life of luxury? We live white-collar, six-figure and up lifestyles, while other people's children do the unsavory, nasty work. That's how these conservatives think. That is how they think. That is what they feel. That's why Donald Trump can sit there and say, instead of having 30 dolls, maybe your kids can have 2. Now, mind you, Trump is a billionaire who just received a fucking plane from fucking Qatar. Donald Trump is an individual whose family members have received billions from the Saudis. Trump is an individual who received hundreds of millions from Elon Musk in exchange for a position in government. Donald Trump is the king of corruption. Donald Trump is literally an all-star corrupt talk. Like, this nigga's on a different level. As he accumulates excess wealth he doesn't need, he then relegates the working class Americans to lack, poverty. That's what he relegates us to. That's what he believes we deserve. But his ultra-elite aristocratic Trump family, oh no, they deserve the best. They deserve the best. They deserve the lap of luxury. They deserve all of the amenities and luxuries life can afford and offer. But you, the average everyday American, put up with whatever you got. Hold what you got. That's what these niggas believe. That is what conservatives believe. And they're so delusional about how life works, they romanticize these things in their head. It's good work. It builds character. Unreal. Unfucking real. Unreal. And they have no answer. I can understand if he said, hey, President Trump needs to start investing in machinery, probably maybe even backed by AI, that can replace undocumented immigrant labor in this country. That still keeps American agricultural goods cheap for Americans, right? But, doesn't involve using our children to do back-breaking labor. 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm surprised no one on the right wing has said, what if we used AI-backed technology to manufacture cheap goods that we don't want to be relying upon from other countries? Nope. All they've said, just deport the brown people, the end. No plan for the economy, no plan for it. They don't care. These people don't care about policy and economy. All they care about is racism. All they care about is tribalism. All they care about is hatred. Actually running the country like decent statesmen who give a damn, nope, too difficult. Too difficult. That's for the libs. The dirty, nasty, soft-ass, punk-ass libs. That's for the libs. We just deport. They're unbelievable. They are insane. They are insane. Fucking crazy. Literally advocating for child labor. And by the way, DeSantis and the Floridians have been trying to get laws passed to re-enable this as well. They are trying to enable a situation of the return of child labor. Not their children, the children of the plebs. People like DeSantis and others, they're going to be the royal family of Florida. The Trumps, the royal family of America. We don't do nasty stuff like that. That's for the plebs. These people are as easy to see as anything. These people are easy to read. These people are unbelievably easy to read. This nation is going back in time, not just as it pertains to race, as it pertains to culture. We are going back in time as it pertains to every single development these people, these white supremacists take pride in. White people did this, white people did. You're undoing all of that. Literally all of the stuff that was done in the West to separate it from the rest of the world, the laws, the values, all of that. Conservative white America is saying, actually, fuck democracy, fuck freedom of speech, fuck child labor laws, fuck all of that. Actually, let's go back to the Middle Ages is basically what you think is saying. A little bit of antebellum slavery mixed in and boom, problem solved. That's how these people think. That is what they want. They're unreal. And they blame other people for the downfall of the West. Look at you. Y'all niggas leading the charge. Crazy. Crazy. Talking about the end of the... Y'all are literally y'all are leading the fucking charge. Sword and shield and everything. Unreal. Unfucking real.